Welcome back to the sewer level.
So apparently this level is still going.
Oh crap! Oh crap! Now it's my turn to pull at whibs and forget to edit my pauses out. That's okay. It was only 10 seconds. Yeah, we're still doing this.
So, in a bold maneuver, instead of placing the boss close to the save point and the merchant, what we have is, I guess, the middle point of a dungeon instead.
Yeah, basically. I remember the first time. I actually, I was so happy. Oh, great! I'm almost done, right? Nope.
I mean, I guess it's subversive, but
well, not completely, Job. I can tell you that, for example, I don't know, okay, technically speaking it does. I was thinking, I was actually misremembering that the first Dark Souls sewer level did not have a boss, but it actually does, the Vagina Dragon, forgot its actual name. And yeah, to be fair, that sewer level actually has basically almost all of the bad tropes. The only thing that is missing is actually the raising and lowering water mechanic, but it trades it off with not unavoidable, but ramps that push you down and you cannot climb back up, and it can potentially act as pitfalls.
Although we have to give this level 1 over Blight Town. It doesn't run like garbage.
Oh no, I was talking about I was talking about the sewer level before Blight Town, Pedro.
Sure. But you mentioned Blight Town last part.
Yeah,
so.
that too. Anyway. Of course, they have a fucking nuclear reactor in the sewers.
Of course. I guess so, Sed. Well, knowing Gongora, probably something very, very insane.
Well, knowing Gongora, he's probably using people's excrement to fuel this new nuclear manage of energy.
So it's it's biofueled. Okay.
So there's the moral. Everybody, don't poo in your toilets. Just go anywhere else.
It's gonna be magically radioactive.
Make a hole and just poo in it and then bury it. But anyway,
no,
make like the dogs.
You need to be like the medieval ages, using a bucket and throw it at the beaker when he passes.
Oh, it's not so bad. I've got my own bucket. Last time we at 6 we had to share it.
Go on.
Timeless, but yeah, no. I mean, I know I probably asked this before, but the question really does bear repeating. I get that sewer levels have a certain aesthetic that can maybe make them draining, no pun intended, to go on, but all the same, it feels almost uncanny that a sewer level is almost always doomed to be the low point of a game. Platformer, RPG, heck, sometimes even a visual novel.
It depends on the game for me. Like, unlike most people... Okay, while it is true that the Water Temple is probably the worst dungeon in Ocarina of Time, I still think that the Water Temple is not that bad.
Mind you. I'm not even saying that they're guaranteed bad, but more so that they're the low point.
Oh, yeah, that is... Okay, fine. Okay, let me just explain this. Yeah, as you might have... Okay, go ahead.
Looks like this one's gone haywire too, Sed.
Go ahead, Dips. Oh, okay.
I gotta.
But they easily put you a save point there, or at least a HP replenishment sphere.
But yeah, the gimmick of this particular half of the dungeon... Yes, Dips?
Do you guys have a time?
Could have 4:30.
4:37.
Okay, almost there.
But yeah, the gimmick of this dungeon is rotating stairways. Okay, and go. Yeah, rotating stairways. So again, and you have to go back and forth, rotate the stairways in a very specific place, so you can go to a specific place, so you can press a certain switch, so that you can go to the other place. And again, it's the same kind. Again, let me put it this way: the classic Zelda games before Zelda games stopped having dungeons made stuff like this fun with excellent tight design. Like, and don't get me wrong, there have been JRPGs that have done these kinds of dungeons well. Like a lot of level 5's games have really good dungeons that have this kind of gimmick. Like, for example, the Factory in Ni no Kuni 2.
I also argue that Demon Souls, I forgot its name, it basically has an entire area dedicated to be the equivalent of a sewer level, and while it is all the obvious, classic Miyazaki's poison swamp that annoys you, I argue it's actually possibly one of the better ones because of the resonance in thematics of the story.
Oh, sure.
Also, Zelda games still do have dungeons, even if they're not as vast or whatnot. At the very least, Echoes of Wisdom definitely seems to have brought back the vastness of a dungeon.
Well, it's shame for fans of 3D Zelda games like me, I guess. But whatever. The point
What's wrong
is,
with Echoes of Wisdom dungeons?
no, I mean people who want those kinds of dungeons in 3D Zelda games like me. That's what I'm talking about.
Isn't Echoes of Wisdom technically a 3D Zelda game?
Well, it's
You know what he meant.
You know what I meant. It's designed like a classic 2D Zelda game, like Link's Awakening and the Oracle games. It's not like
but don't.
It's not following the Ocarina of Time template. If that
Okay,
helps you.
but isn't that more what Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom did with their dungeons? I mean, I know that they're not the best, but to my knowledge, those dungeons still, for the most part, do that format.
Not really. They don't have the small key aspect. They don't have the boss key aspect. They don't really have. Hell,
The dedicated weapons to defeat the boss in the dungeon.
that's the kind of dungeon that I'm talking about.
Format.
Yeah, that
Okay.
format. That format. But whatever. The point is, you can do this kind of thing well. Like, for example, a good example is the water dungeon from Twilight Princess, for example. Right? Since we're talking Zelda, right? Because there's a giant rotating stairway in that dungeon. It's practically the main gimmick of that dungeon in particular.
Although,
So that dungeon is an example of how you can do this kind of gimmick much better. To give you an idea.
yeah, but like I was asking before, like, aesthetics aside, it just feels like a sewer level always feels the need to throw in the most annoying gimmicks. Like, okay, aesthetics are one thing, yes. Sewers are rarely ever going to be the most pleasant things to look at. I can understand, but again, with the gameplay mechanics and tropes, it feels like sewer levels just have this hidden pact.
Okay, I can tell you. Saigon.
That they must be, if not the lowest point, still at the very least a contender for lowest point of the
I
game.
can tell you that there is a game technically, RPG technically, that has a sewer section that I would argue, at least personally, doesn't really feel like the low point of the game, or nor the most tedious dungeon. That would be
what's that?
Rogue Galaxy technically.
Good old
Context,
Rogue Galaxy.
The second third of your game is consistent of a treasure hunt, like I mentioned in Aslan Legacy. And one of the artifacts we need to acquire is in the sewers of the planet we need to go. Aside from the aesthetic that are more pleasing, they're more emphasizing the bloom of water. Kind of being like the sewer level of Final Fantasy 12 in order to not be, too much into the brown and the annoyingness. The company music is nice, which, by the way, yeah, this dungeon doesn't have a theme for some reason, comparing that to this game. And I can tell you that the dungeon that you can tackle potentially before, which is a set of 2 parallel towers, it's much more tedious.
So, how is the backtracking in this dungeon? Like, do they at least make it convenient to get back to a certain point?
They
after
do.
you flip a
Yes.
certain switch.
As you can see, Jova, you can
They
unlock
create shortcuts.
huh?
You can unlock shortcuts. Yes. So there is that.
And again, you also have the mini-map to orient yourself, so at the very least you have that. But as you can see, it's still kind of a nightmare.
It's
I'm
kind.
gonna presume that Gongora was the one who designed these sewers, and that's why it's not just a simple,
I mean,
hey,
that
let's
would
add
just-
some just pathways here.
That would probably explain why the people of this city actually have a nuclear reactor inside the sewers.
I'll mention something. I actually don't really have any problem with the sewer level in Marco's Magic Football. Thanks to the powers of the ball, you can very easily get around, and it basically just works like any other platformer level. I mean,
Square Enix, you need to bring back this game to remind people of the
Remember,
days when
Trevor,
sewer levels didn't
at
have to
this
suck.
point, I think that's in the hands of the Embracer Group.
yeah, I think at this point it
really?
is. Remember, the dual mark became Eidos, right? Or am I mistaking?
Well, yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay,
Yes, we-
so
remember, it
Square
became
Enix
a
gave up
subsidiary.
Eidos to Embracer, which means now Marcos Magic Football it belongs to Embracer Group. basically.
Remember, it basically became a subsidiary of, I think, Ion Storm, the Warren Spector team that made Deus Ex, basically.
What a sad
Yeah,
shame
yeah.
that
What-
Square
Yeah,
weren't
his
able to
Ions
capitalize on the magnificence of Marco's Magic Football.
See, the problem is that would require somebody in the world aside from
Remember it.
aside from me to, and of course by extension you guys that after I shown the game to you. Let's pretend for a moment that I didn't show the game to you guys via this channel, right? That would require Jova for somebody to in the world aside from me to know that that game exists. So
What a shame. We have been
It's not
cursed
even-
with the knowledge that Marco's Magic Football goes unforeseen by the masses for the greatness it brought to its generation of gaming.
It's not even as a detriment, it's just the fact that the game is genuinely that obscure. I don't think it even has a Wikipedia page.
yeah,
It's such a weird yet unique game that
And
honestly,
it's
I
really
would
fun.
not mind seeing
Yeah.
it back.
and it's really fun to play. Like that's the literal definition of an underrated, unknown, obscure
Oh.
gem.
Although you're gonna like this, Pedro. Apparently, Marco himself made a cameo appearance as a story in Sonic the Comic.
Yeah, I already knew about that.
I didn't. I
cool.
just found out. It's
It
hilarious.
was because remember it was a popular game in Europe at the time. So the Sonic the comic is a British comic, and remember Marco's Magic Football is a British game, so that makes sense.
Honestly, I guess we can chalk it up to Marco's Magic Football sadly being a casualty of the cartoonish platformer wars, essentially, since, if I recall correctly, that game was released right when everyone and their mother wanted to make the next Sonic and Mario, essentially.
But basically, Marco, on the other hand, was really the great thing about in the world in a time full of was it Arrow the Acrobat, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Like in stuff like Bubsy, as well as other mascot platformers that came and went, and nobody knows or remembers them anymore. Marco's Magic Football was something that was genuinely unique, that was doing actually its own thing. It wasn't even a mascot platformer. Marco's not an anthropomorphic animal or anything like that. He's just a boy, right?
Well, to be fair, let's not forget that Sega's original mascot was a normal boy too. before
Yeah, I
Sonic
guess.
came out.
Isn't
So-
Alex Kidd more like
An elf.
Yeah, or an imp?
I'm pretty sure he's like
He
meant
has
to
pointy
be an
ears.
ant. Well,
Yeah.
to be fair to you, humans in Hyrule also have pointy ears, but they're still
Well, but they're not humans.
so-
They're Hylians.
Well, they're more or less regarded to as
Sure,
equivalent of humans.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay,
Anyway, the
but-
basic
okay,
point.
but all this-
Sorry. Go on.
My point is well, being a mascot didn't necessarily mean, oh, you were an animal, essentially. It was more like just, oh, the representative of the company. I'm pretty sure there were some human ones.
Sure, that's fair.
PlayStation tried to have one with Blasto.
Yeah,
Remember that?
sure, that's fair. But the point is, like, unlike other platformers at the time, that game genuinely is, to this day, a very unique platform. There's still to this day no other platformer like it with that specific
I mean, I
gimmick.
guess the closest would be in terms of a 3D counterpart would be Glover, I guess.
I guess, but I will argue it's
Really?
not really the
Glover?
it's not really the same
It's all
thing.
it's all about the physics of the ball.
It is about the physics of the ball, but I will argue the way Marco does it is completely different than Glover, honestly.
Clearly, we need to make a series about Michael Jordan and his magical basketball.
It's just because, again, like the entire gimmick, and especially because remember, Marco came before Glover, so at the time that it released, it was genuinely unique and unlike anything else, right?
What if we rebooted Marco's Magic Football, but in order to make it more popular, instead it's Cristiano Ronaldo and his Magic Football?
Please no.
I mean, I guess on the one hand that would probably attract.
I mean,
sports fans.
honestly, if it could be a thing like the game, it's similar, maybe something similar to what happened with Shrek's Quest. The game is technically redone, but it's identical to the similar. But at the end, it's revealed that Marco's father is Cristiano Ronaldo.
That would be beautiful, actually.
If we do like a dark gritty remake of Marco's Magic Football, what if it was like the Magic Football is actually code for a grenade or something?
No, Dwibs, the Magic Football is the only memento of his power at the end of the game. It's revealed, but the souls of him is still in there.
Also,
That's
the-
why it's magical.
That's the thing, Dwebs. There's one of the abilities of the ball that makes it explode like a bomb and destroys every enemy in the vicinity. So technically, we already have that.
No, but it's the more dark and gritty version. You see gore everywhere and then screaming in agony.
okay.
Thankfully, Dwibs, we don't really do these anymore, at least for now. Who knows, maybe we'll be in vogue again in a couple of years.
Yeah. I think Bomberman Act Zero was like, if not the last one of.
I'm trying to think.
I mean, I'll admit, Bomberman X-Zero was a grand slam of just edgy cringe fest, essentially. You went from a cartoonish-looking little robot to suddenly big, muscular macho men and robotic women with jiggling boobs, essentially. And look, I don't mind jiggle physics where it's necessary, thank you very much, Rouge, but in Bomberman, no. No, we don't need to, okay? Like, you don't need to make something cutesy and whimsical into something edgy, adult, or blood gory and all that. It's like that stupid Brazilian Mega Man comic where Roll sleeps with rock and blues.
I had no idea what you're supposed. The only web comic about Mega Man that I know, Jova, is I forgot his name. Mega Man Sprite comic, I think it's called.
All right, we're
There's
almost
a
there.
Brazilian Mega Man comic. It's bad.
Jesus
Okay.
Christ, almost there. Almost there.
And then a random encounter shows up right at the last minute.
Don't jinx us. Whew.
It's happened to me so many times in that kind of...
Let's see.
Oh God, there's more.
Your
where
reward
where
is
did-
more stairs.
Where did exactly Sed has parked his vehicle? Because yeah, that's basically our way out. We're using these sewers to actually
Yes,
find
to get that into the Nautilus. Yeah.
Oh, his ship's called...
There we go. We found it. We're done with the dungeon. Fuck. Thank fuck.
I get the idea about not wanting to be found by the authorities, but holy shit, this is overkill.
My ship.
This one?
Yeah, the Nautilus. Ain't she a beaut? Ah, she's been locked up in here.
I mean, it's supposed to be a pirate ship. It needs a bit more decals.
She definitely has a feel of the ship you'd pick.
Yeah.
It's,
I'm stuck with her.
having trouble
Seems like
making out her
fate.
shape there.
But if she's here, that means we can get her out of here.
So wait, you did not have a plan
Let's go.
before
Yeah.
arriving here?
Thanks
It's
for
just
not
pure blind luck that a ship happens to
yes,
be
of
in the
course.
sewers. Okay.
Oh wow,
Of
Ruka,
course, we
turns
got-
out we do have a boss fight.
Well, we kinda. I mean, it's the end of the dungeon.
Oh, I guess one of those creatures just fought. Yeah, I'm gonna wander down in the sewers.
Yeah.
Damn. Isn't that
Remember this. It's one of the monsters that.
Sir, the Alien sequel is next door.
No. Remember this is the kaiju that Gongora dropped in the city previously.
Yeah, I get the idea that he's going the third parallel with Xenomorph because the creature doesn't have eyes and a big, long-shaped head.
The monster
It does
designer.
look
The
a
mo-
bit like the xenomorph.
Yeah.
queen,
Let's put it like this, Wiz. The monster designer is a big fan. So there we go.
Would not surprise me.
this way?
Don't get too scared to fight, your worshipness. There's
There's
can
got to
buy
be
that.
a better way.
Mama, I bet
So-
we can use that.
What?
We'll start her up by shooting some magic energy to that engine part, and then we'll...
Seth, I've told you 100 times. Move now, talk later.
No, I think he had a good plan.
No, he had a good plan there, Seth. Come on.
No, don't worry. He will do it.
If
Yes, Dibs.
let's say if there's an alien world in Kingdom Hearts 4,
That'd be cool.
I'd buy the game just for that.
I mean, it is now legally
Yeah,
a possibility.
That Monkey's Paw is based on either Prometheus or Resurrection.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, okay, look. Even as somebody who doesn't
Well,
hate Resurrection,
okay.
even as somebody who doesn't hate Resurrection, at the very least, I'll take it over 3. But why would they do Resurrection or Prometheus? Like, okay,
So,
even if no...
when it came to Pirates of the Caribbean, they went to movie 3 and basically abridged almost the entirety of what happened in 2.
To be fair, I'm not too surprised because 3 ends on a better note for a Kingdom Hearts world to end on, and let's be honest, 3 and 2 were pretty much one movie just divided amongst a year
My
ago.
point is they could have done both instead of just, skimming over the second and going directly to the third.
My guess is that they didn't think that they could fit both in, but okay, the thing is, Pirates of the Caribbean 3 still is not hated to the degree that, like, Resurrection or Prometheus is. Like, I mean... You'd think that they would start with, okay, admittedly, there's nothing binding them to the first movie, but shoot, don't they usually start off with the first movie of a world, essentially, whenever they show up first?
I don't know. Yes, Twips?
I haven't seen, I don't think I've seen Resurrection, but I've seen 3, the OG cut on Disney Plus, in case you're wondering. It was miserable.
Anyway,
Yes.
Go on, Pedro, sorry, I mentioned later.
let me explain the boss battle. But as you might have noticed already, with Sed, we're attacking, or as in shooting, the cannon to charge it with magic energy. As you can see on the top right corner, sorry, the top left corner, you have a charge power meter that you're supposed to fill. And now he's charging his ultra mega attack. So yeah, as you can see, it takes a while for the cannon to get full.
Damn it. So we managed to beat the boss beforehand.
Oops, so what was that mechanic supposed
Basically,
to do?
basically it just shoots a big beam and hurts it a lot, basically.
Oh, it's a crane. I thought it was supposed to, like, paralyze it.
This victory's food for the
I think so, like, it's been a while.
Well, good on Tolten, striking the killing blow. You're already learning, your prince.
Alright, moving on. And now get this, Jova.
I thought the twist was gonna be he points his sword.
Basically, Jova, you'd think this would be the end of this particular section, right? But the developers have one more ace up their sleeve that is wildly out of place in a game like this, and it feels like Toriyama played this and thought, you know what? I'm gonna make an entire 13 sequel with just this crap in it. With 13-2, I mean. Get this. So now we have to escape from the other kaijus.
Of course.
3 of them this time.
What's with the Dutch angle?
Afraid to fight.
The director wants to really show you how fancy he is with his angles.
I've had to actually fight monsters.
I saw Battlefield Earth.
That's very nice, director. That's very nice.
Aren't you frightened?
So basically, we have to fight them using the Nautilus, I guess.
No, you'd think, right, Jova? But no. Get this. I'm not even gonna say it. I'll just let you find out at the same time that the tutorial comes up.
Oh my god, it looks like the USS Enterprise with those back thrusters.
Kinda, yeah.
And yet it's not called the Enterprise.
So let's view the escaping the sewers tutorial. Avoid the fierce attacks of the magic beast and escape from the sewers. How you do that, you might be wondering? To dodge the beast's attacks, match the timing of their moves and press the buttons. So there you go. This entire sequence is just one gigantic QTE.
I will say that at least compared to 13.2, this actually means something.
It does, Tail, but again, it feels so out of place in a game like this. I get that this is a 360 game, so they probably wanted to appeal.
It was the style at the time.
Yeah, I get that this was a trend at the time, but damn, it still really feels out of place in a game like this.
You know what this means, Jova? We're literally playing Sewer Shark now.
Basically, yeah.
I mean, why not just have it be, an RPG battle with them? Just have the animation be you running from them, but you have to fire at them using the Nautilus.
Or hell, why not just make a shooting minigame where you just control the Nautilus and shoot at them? Like, that would have been fine. I would have accepted that.
That said, I definitely agree with Tio that they probably did this because it was the style at the time, because QTEs were the in thing to make you do cool video game action, which, to be fair, may not have been as easy to do back then. But yeah, the issue is that it does feel very aged and dated as a result.
Also, because of the water, effect, I can't see that much on it, to be honest.
The other thing about it is that this QTE is piss easy. I don't
Yeah, I can see that.
I don't fail a single button input because the game gives you way more time than you could possibly need for each individual prompt.
Like, I guess it's a good thing they gave us the tutorial. But that's the thing, the tutorial more or less just tells you, yeah, it's a QT section.
Just press the monkey C button, monkey push button. That's it.
And by the way, Drova, as you can see from the bottom right, 3 strikes and you're out.
Yeah.
So if you fail, you have to start again. If I remember correctly.
Tail, don't fucking worry about that stupid HP meter. Like, the only way you're gonna fail this is if you're actively not paying attention to what's going on screen. Because the buttons are there, it's just the 4-face button, so it's not like they make some kind of weird combination. It's and when it says blur, it's just mash it.
Sure.
It's just mash. And as you can see, I always do it with plenty of time to spare. So, trust me, don't worry, you'll be fine. Just as sure as you're paying attention to the buttons, you'll get there. Don't worry. This QTE is piss easy.
That said, I was kind of expecting more animation variety for a QTE section, but so far it's more just been ship ducks to the left, ship ducks to the right.
Do a barrel roll.
You'd think the QTE would have left and right so you can dodge to the left and right, but no, it's just press A and that somehow does the...
A and X, which not really represent... Again, a cool thing about QTEs all the time is that they actually mimic the corresponding action that the character normally will do. Again, the God of War games and Azura's Wrath basically master that. But no, this is just A and X, which don't really mean anything.
Well, to be fair, that's the occasional Y prompt to be as well.
But honestly, it's weird because Blue Dragon didn't have a QTE event in it.
Actually did. Remember that bit where we were pulling the chains?
The kind of chains minigame.
Yep.
Oh, I must have completely forgotten that segment.
This part, there was probably some kind of mandate from Microsoft that you had to put some kind of QTE section in there because that's what's popular for Western audiences.
Again, I don't remember neither Gears, Fable, or Halo really relying on them, so I don't know.
Maybe shooters weren't as prone to have that stuff. I don't know.
Nope, it's a way out. How?
They'll fly.
Fly? Hang on.
That's right, the Nautilus can also fly in addition to going through water.
But hey, I have good news. Now that we're done with the sewer dungeon, it's all uphill from here. So, there you go. We're done. Basic tale. Remember how Brando said he was laughing when he got to the QTEs in 13.2 because he totally forgot about this being a trend at the time. That's my reaction when I replayed this for this playthrough because I actually genuinely forgot about
the bloom.
Yeah,
I know, right?
because much like Brando too, I also forgot about this QTE section.
I'm curious. I forget if you told me how Brando feels about 13.2. I know he's like a fan of 13. But
well, okay.
His analysis gives basically constructive criticism to it.
Yeah, let me put it this way. He's technically a fan of 13, but unlike other fans I've seen online, he at the very least is a more honest and he doesn't just denounce problems like the ones me and Tail raise as just us being closed-minded. He instead actually genuinely addresses our complaints and tries to be a bit more fair to both sides. So I
actually like this moment of Tolten. He's genuinely trying to fit in.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, guys. Don't leave him hanging.
Awesome, huh?
Wasn't that fun, Your Majesty?
Also, what is this music?
I'm nobody's majesty.
It's to show that things are plucky and upgoing.
I'm just a
I finally
man.
discovered what kind of man I want to be.
And what kind of man?
One
is
who
that?
gives high fives.
A brave man. I want to be like you, Sed.
Aww.
So there you go. Sed is now Tolten's hero.
Yeah.
It's not as easy as you thought, is it, Your Highness? Everyone wants to be brave. But if you really mean what you say, then you have to be more daring. Be more of a leader.
Leader?
That may be
Yes.
setting the bar a little too high, Sed.
They basically need to
Oh.
balance each other out. Meanwhile,
Okay, and where did Mr. Congeniality run off to?
uh,
Go ahead, Jova. Jova.
I've looked all up and down this track, but I can't find the magic train that Kime and Sarah were on.
Okay.
Oh, so Kime died. I guess he really was just a regular hedgehog after all.
Right. Oh well, we'll get to that.
We didn't see anything like that on the way we came either.
So nothing on the track itself? Not at all? Where does this track go anyway? That's a good question, Jensen.
I think it goes
Alright,
east for a bit before turning north.
Go.
Go.
Kind of hard to tell in the snow, though.
Indeed.
Pedro.
Yes, oh sorry. To the north? Well, don't worry. I bet Kime can take care of himself. Let's just get off these tracks with those stairs.
Are we gonna
Yeah,
have
might as
a
well.
I thought I was gonna do a Jilligan Cup where after Pedro said, "Oh, don't worry, Kime can take care of himself because Takai being dead."
Just in a block of ice, so kind of like, Jack Torres at the end of The Shining.
In the Shining.
But yeah, just to finish what I was saying. No, so basically, Jova, it's one of those where he thinks, he fully admits that the game is not like this underrated gem like some other fans that recently came out of the woodworks say. He at the very least acknowledges the bad aspects of the game instead of, because I've seen a lot of people. Don't get me wrong, I don't have a problem with people liking Final Fantasy 14. If you want to like Final Fantasy 14, more power to you. I just wish people wouldn't be so and I get that people want to try to be more positive about the game for a change. I can appreciate that. I just wish they wouldn't resort to outright ignoring the problems at certain points, or sometimes just dismissing them as us being closed-minded or something in order to do so.
Okay.
My analysis. Okay, to be fair, I've never really heard anyone use the excuse get good with 13 because let's be honest, what can you do to get good with that? It is one of the most automated games whatsoever.
Not just that, and remember, it's also one of those games that actively prevent you from power leveling. It's basically, as an RPG, it's a very miserable experience.
Go ahead, Joe. Carry on.
But yeah, no, my analysis on 13 fanatics, let's say, to be fair, separating the fans from the fanatics, fans seem to be those who like 13 in spite of its flaws, and you know what? I can get it. There is stuff to potentially like about 13. How? As much as I dislike Lightning, I won't deny she has a pretty cool design, so, if there were a better character attached to that design, I probably really like her. Maybe there are people who like that personality. When it comes to the fanatics, my take has always been they know they're in the minority. They know how despised 13 is and how, as a result, 13 probably ain't gonna be regarded as much outside of the obligatory crossovers and whatnot. So my guess is that they're speaking up loud to try and get people to think, no, they were the ones who's wrong, and that 13's a long-lost classic that just needs a chance.
Alright, see you for the next part, everybody.
Yeah.
Aye.